Hi everyone, today we are going to go over 5th grade lesson 35 of the Elevate curriculum, which is all on understanding fractions. Just like any other day, we are going to spend 5 minutes on the sprint. That 5 minutes does include the review. Once we introduce the objective, we are going to jump right in to a 1-minute turn and talk because this question is going to get students very engaged. So, does the model to the right show 2 fifths? Turn and talk to your buddy, 1 minute, go. Now, students are going to be very engaged because you might have some students who will stand their ground and say, yes, it does, because there are 5 total pieces and 2 of them are shaded, which is true. There are 5 total parts and 2 of them are shaded. However, it is not an accurate model of a fraction because it does not show 5 equal parts with 2 of which that are shaded. This is what an accurate representation of 2 fifths looks like. So you'll have a lot of discussion there, right? And then you are going to jump into writing fractions and their names. So each of these, this is a fraction that is broken up into 8 parts. So the unit that you are working with is eighths. 5 of them are shaded. So this fraction model represents 5/8. The other piece of this lesson is understanding fractions as multiples. So you are essentially multiplying a unit fraction. A unit fraction just means that the numerator has a 1, or the numerator is 1, sorry. You are multiplying a unit fraction by a whole number, right? So in order to multiply 4 times 1/3, you are showing the model 1/3 4 times. So this is what 1/3 looks like. That's 1/3 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. Essentially, in that model, you are showing 1/3 plus 1/3 plus another 1/3 plus another 1/3. Again, 1/3 4 times. When we add fractions, we are keeping the denominator. Again, the denominator does not change. The only thing that you are adding are your numerators. So the 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is equivalent to 4 total thirds. Okay? For this lesson, students are going to be working with these fraction models and repeated addition, but they are also going to be working with number lines and showing how they are moving across the number line using multiplication. So same question, 4 times 1/3. Students will have a number line that is partitioned into thirds. So from 0 to 1/3 plus another 1/3 gives you 2/3 plus another 1/3 gives you 3/3. It's partitioned into thirds, right? The unit is thirds, the denominator is thirds, okay? So same thing. It's partitioned into thirds, sorry. They need to jump a total of 4 times starting at 0 to figure out what the product is. So 0 times 1/3 is 1/3 times 2 is 2/3. 1/3 times 3 is 3/3. And then 1/3 times 4 is 4/3. Okay, so those are the 2 models that you're going to be using for this lesson. You are going to model for them how to do the repeated addition to multiplication connection. So this question right here, multiply 3 times 1/4. So you're going to show them 1/4. 1 out of 4 shaded. You're going to show them 1/4 a total of 3 times. It's 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, right? Again, 1/4 3 times. 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. Denominator stays the same. The numerator is the only thing that changes. 1 plus 1 plus 1 gives me 3, okay? That means that 3 times 1/4 gives me 3/4. Something that students might struggle with is some students might say, okay, well, it tells me to show 1/4 3 times. So that means that I'm just going to shade in 1/4 3 times, or shade in 3 parts of 1/4. That is incorrect, because this model would show that you have 3/4 one time, there's 0/4 another time, and then 0/4 a third time. So this is inaccurate, okay? So for the independent practice, release students to work on page 125. They are just representing fractions with visuals, or connecting fractions to visuals. This should not be super difficult for them. However, before you release them to even work on page 125, after you do your initial model right here, you want to jump to this model here, because you also want to show students how to do the number line. So 8 times 1/6, again, it's partitioned into 6 because the denominator is 6ths, which means that our unit is 6ths. So you are showing 8 jumps of 1/6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which leaves you at 8/6. The total, or sorry, the product is 8/6. Then you will release students to work on their independent practice for about 15 minutes.